In this video, I'm going to explain a technique that you can use anytime you feel like the betrayal trauma, the infidelity trauma is taking over your emotions. It's something I learned from an FBI negotiator, and it works because it connects the part of your brain that is freaking out to the part of your brain that is rational. Because when you've been betrayed, the animal part of your brain, the very emotional part of your brain, takes over. It's in fight, flight, or freeze and looking to survive. That's where the PTSD elements come in. Being able to bridge the two parts of your brain is actually a very effective method for emotional regulation, for nervous system regulation. And the technique is called emotional labeling. And all you have to do is when you're flooded with an emotion, identify what is this flooding emotion that I'm feeling, and then what is going on underneath that. So it's naming, it's labeling two emotions, the surface level emotion, and then what might be beneath the surface. And there have been studies that have been done. When you do this, you are activating your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, and it actually is very subtly beginning to rewire and re-bridge those parts of your brain together. Not that they're ever fully apart, but is getting them talking in a loop again. And it's as if it's sending a signal to your emotional brain. Hey, I'm still here. I'm still in charge. I can still assess the situation and understand what's happening. You don't have to be in overdrive right now. I mentioned the FBI negotiator, Chris Voss. He mainly focuses on the sales side, even though there's a lot of application to the therapeutic side as well. He talks about high pressure, high intensity moments of negotiation, where if he messes it up, people, at least one person, often multiple people, will end up dying. And so the stakes couldn't be higher. One of the things he can do to diffuse the emotions in someone else is when he hears the way that they're talking, just telling them, it seems like you're stressed. I can tell that you're worried about getting home to your family. I can tell that your main thought is just getting out of here alive. Whatever the exact thing may be, him being able to label and see actually does something neurologically to the other person's brain where just having it labeled, just putting words to the emotions does in fact begin to calm things down. But this method is one step deeper than that because you want to first label, okay, I'm feeling something. What is going on? I'm just really angry. Just acknowledging that you're really angry often isn't that helpful. It's better than not acknowledging at all. But for the second step, you need to look beneath the anger, to use that example. Notice that you feel angry. Acknowledge that to yourself. Now, step two, look beneath that and ask, why am I so angry now? What is it about this situation that has me so angry? You'll often find beneath the anger, it's reminding you of how abandoned you felt. Or there's feelings of shame for not being good enough, or helplessness, or powerlessness, fear of being unlovable, just feeling rejected, not just as a partner, but as a person, like you shouldn't even be on this planet. Might even be sadness or grief over what you lost. Oftentimes, getting to that second layer emotion is enough to begin to diffuse the intensity of the surface level emotion. It doesn't really solve either of them completely, like they'll still be there to some extent, but it begins to put you back in control. There's a world of a difference between I'm furious and I feel abandoned and terrified that I'm not worth staying faithful to. The first keeps you stuck in a very reactive, high-strung place. The second gives you back some control, and it also gets you closer to a space in which you can heal. Now, the unfortunate thing is that this isn't usually something you can do just like that. It usually does require hitting pause, stepping aside, taking a few deep breaths. For some people, I have done this myself, closing my eyes and asking, like, what is really going on here? What is going on beneath this anger? Creating this space, stepping aside, isn't about avoiding emotion, about creating conditions where you can process it effectively rather than just being completely hijacked by it. And know that ahead of time, this might be irritating to people. That literally doesn't matter. If your healing process requires disappointing other people, that is completely fine. Don't use it as an excuse to intentionally irritate someone. But if you're in the middle of an argument, you find yourself getting incredibly reactive and you don't feel like you're in control of your emotions anymore, saying, I will be back in 10 minutes. I need to calm the hell down, do this exercise, get back to whatever it is you need to do. That is completely fine. Now, if you're the unfaithful partner and you're trying to help the person that you betrayed process their emotions, understanding this technique can be helpful. You don't want to be obnoxious or pushy with it, but you can gently guide them toward the deeper emotions if the situation calls for it. So if they seem very irritated about one thing, but it seems like it's a deeper thing, you can simply ask, hey, is there something else going on with the anger? Or you'd mentioned before that this felt like it brought up some shame for you. Is that what you're actually feeling here? Does this remind you of feeling abandoned? Or you can offer specific guesses like, I imagine that made you feel discarded when I said that. Or it seems like you might be feeling unsafe right now. Or I wonder if you're questioning whether you can trust anything I say. This is kind of the classic way that Chris Voss would use this labeling technique, is he used it to label other people's emotions. And so if you're the unfaithful partner and you're trying to help the betrayed partner process things, you can do it just the same way. Now, just to be clear, this is not going to instantly heal betrayal. This doesn't replace the need for full disclosure or accountability or boundaries. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's not about trying to calm down too quickly. And it will not work if you try to use it as a way to avoid your feelings. The goal isn't to try to replace one emotion with another. The goal is to process emotions and to treat them like a string where when you start to pull on one, another one comes up and then something else comes up. And you might be surprised at what is at the end of it. But if you do this consistently, several things will happen. One, you are training your nervous system to be able to go back and forth between the conscious, rational thinking and the unconscious processing of emotions. And being able to go back and forth quickly is one of the clearest signs of emotional regulation. You also begin to restore self-trust, which is often shattered by the infidelity because you thought you made a good decision in trusting your partner. You realize you didn't. Self-trust is gone. So being able to identify specifically what you're feeling is actually really helpful. And you develop resilience so that these emotions, even if they start really big and feel really scary, you can begin to work on them and understand them. And over time, that processing begins to heal them. But to just package it all up, what you want to do is pause, remove yourself from the situation, identify the surface level emotion that you're feeling, ask yourself what's one layer deeper. And you might find that there's another layer after that and another layer after that. You don't have to go all the way down. There might not be an all the way down. But often just choosing to be introspective at one layer deeper is enough to get your prefrontal cortex engaged, which is enough to calm and soothe your nervous system. So that's all you have to do. Pause, label one, label two, and that will give you a lot of control back.